if you have people that are telling you, hey, you should do this, there's a few things that you need to check in your heart. One, do I trust this person to speak into my life? And if you do, that's fine. Two, are they doing it? How much are you investing at all? Not just your 401k, but are you taking the over and above your regular leftover money? Are you taking that money and are you investing it? So if you're not investing it, how are you going to tell me what to do with my money? Hey, family, this is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, we are on episode 31. We are moving, we are shaking out here. As always, before we get started, I just like to thank everybody who's liked, who shared, who subscribed to the channel. Hopefully it has helped your life in some way or another. If you feel like this has added value to you, the only thing that I ask is that you share it. Why not? It's helped you, it'll help somebody else. If you are new to this channel, Wealth is a Journey. We talk about faith, we talk about family, we talk about wealth building, we talk about health, we talk about family, fatherhood, all things that are going to help you on your wealth building journey. So lock in because we're going somewhere today. Today we're going to talk about environment. A few weeks ago, we had a service at my church. I talk about it very often. Seeds of Greatness Bible Church in Newcastle, Delaware. Shameless plug. If you are looking for a church home and you live in the tri-state area, come check us out. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. The reason that we're talking about environment is because as soon as I stepped foot in this church, changed my life completely. I was in search of, and I didn't know it at the time, I was in search of something that was going to help me grow. And my pastor, Jerome, he's not going to shout. He's not going to jump up and down. Sometimes he does. But for the most part, he's going to give you practical things that's going to help you along your life to enrich your life. Then he's going to challenge you to get involved, read your Bible, pray, build your relationship with God. Now, the dope part about our church is you go to different churches, and no shade, no shot to any church that, you know, member or anything that may be listening to this podcast. But sometimes you'll go to church and you'll say, hey, we're going to raise X for this building fund, or we're going to raise money for something pertaining to the building, getting a new building. In 2010-ish, our pastor came to us and said, hey, we're going to purchase this property around the corner from the church that we're at currently. We're going to build it, and it's going to be a great work in the community. Fast forward, ended up building the church. The church is a beautiful facility. Had a huge mortgage on the property. And the pastors came to us and said, hey, we're going to look to, I mean, years down the road, hey, we're going to look to pay this property off and build a bigger footprint for God's work in our community and throughout the world. The reason I'm saying that environment is important is because it's hard enough to try to navigate in this world with all the negativity that you see on TV, Even your friends, family may be negative. You need, if you're looking to go somewhere in life, you are going to need to have what I like to call light. Be the light in this dark world, because there's so much negativity. You turn on your TV, you turn on the news, you turn on anything, that's maybe on the TV, and there's so much negativity in the world. But when you get in an environment that they talk about positivity, they talk about how can you serve somebody else, how can you be a giver, and how can you be a light in this world, which that's the message at our church, building leaders, and oh man, he's gonna get me. Building strong Christian families and developing leaders is our saying at the church. So going there has helped me out tremendously. Um, so I was talking about them paying the mortgage off in the church. So a few weeks ago, we had a service, Celebration Sunday, and we ended up accomplishing the goal of paying off the mortgage, which was huge, because there are other people in the church that have paid off their personal mortgage in their primary residence. Being in an environment that's not only positive, but talks about how to enrich your life, so therefore you can enrich others' lives, is huge. One of my lifelong goals, since we moved in this house in 2016, is to pay this house off. And the way we got to where we are today is we saw somebody else talk about paying their house off, like actually doing it. So being in that environment, it's a safe space, because pride will tell you, if you see somebody doing something that you want to do in the future, your pride will tell you, oh, that's good for them, that'll never happen to us. Don't ask that person how they did it, because they're going to feel like you're going to feel like you're weak or you're less than, because you're asking for help. As soon as I heard that from this individual, Rick Edwards, and his wife, Charlotte, I called him immediately. And I said, hey, I would love to be, debt free. I would love to be, and this is like 2009, 2008-ish, somewhere around that time. But I called him on the phone and I asked him, like, hey, I would love for you to mentor me, and just give me some different pointers on how I can enrich my life. So fast forward till 2016, it was on my heart to be able to pay our house off. But talking to him and going through Financial Peace University, which he was one of the teachers, gave me the belief, because I saw him do it. And then we put the plan in place on how to do it. So not only getting excited for somebody else to do it, because like I'm bouncing around, but during the Celebration Sunday, everybody was so excited. Everybody was happy, because certain ministers came in and said, hey, everybody, it'd be great for everybody to be debt free, and getting everybody excited about being debt free, which is great. But after you leave the service, then what? Okay, yeah, I want to be debt free, but how? And I think that's where environment and putting your pride aside for is very important, because then you can, if you're in an environment with people who are maybe where you would like to be at some point in your life, then it's cool to be in an environment that you can reach out to them and there's no shade, there's no hate, there's no trying to belittle you because you're not where they are, and you can have those real conversations with those people. So it's really, really important to be in an environment where you can thrive, building relationships with people who are where you want to be at some point in time. So before you get there, and I talk about it in the walk away episode, is if you're not in an environment where it's conducive to grow, you're going to have a period in your life where you step off from certain people, and it's lonely. Excuse me, and I know from experience, but it's necessary. And as I'm talking now, I'm thinking back to when I walked away, and even though it sucked to walk away from what I was comfortable with, environments that I was comfortable in, environments that I was in for years, and that I enjoyed, it was necessary for me to walk away because now my eyes are open to the damage that I was doing to myself. But not even that, the fact that it's okay to be different. It's okay to have a goal. It's okay to want to go somewhere. And then if you know that the people over here that you're hanging with are not walking in that same direction where you're trying to go, walking away from them and being alone for a period of time is okay. Because it's great doing things with other people, but if those other people are doing things to your detriment, then it's only going to hurt you in the long run. So as you walk away and you're in that lonely period, you're in that that growing, that overcoming adversity, and that adversity could be in your head. I miss these people. I'm so lonely. These are the thoughts that are going to run through your head. But just know that the longer you are in that separation period, all you're doing is building muscle. You're building muscle, and you're standing firm on your belief of where you want to go. And the longer you do that, the easier it's going to get. Again, I'm not saying it's not tough, but the longer you do something, the easier it's going to get. For instance, I know certain people who have fitness goals, but I also know certain people who have fitness goals who love to work out with other people. So you're in a situation where you want to work out, you call your friend on the phone, your friend unfortunately can't make it. What do? Do you not work out? Some people might not work out. But the thing is, the longer you rely on other people to go with you on this journey where you're trying to go, the longer it's going to cause problems, and it's going to extend the life of the journey. And you have to understand that although it's great going on the journey with other people, the journey itself is yours. So you're going to have to be comfortable being able to do things on your own because you have somewhere to go. And I'm talking about this because you don't know or maybe you do. Maybe you started something new, or you started something where it didn't seem like the thing that everybody else was doing. Yeah, I'm trying to pay my house off. What do you mean you're trying to pay your house off? Then you get these things. Well, you're paying how much extra you paying on your mortgage? Oh, and then you tell them, oh, well, you can invest that money in so forth and so on. Yeah, I could, but I could also be debt free and then invest it after the house is paid off. Um, oh, well, you're losing out on a lot of money. But during the celebration Sunday, and I'm going back to the celebration Sunday, they put the where we started at as far as paying down the mortgage, and then where we ended off at, and then how much interest we ended up saving by paying it off early. The interest was in the millions of dollars because they decided to allocate the funds to paying off the mortgage. So think about that too. Like, if you have people that are telling you, hey, you should do this, there's a few things that you need to check in your heart. One, do I trust this person to speak into my life? And if you do, that's fine. Two, are they doing it? How much are you investing at all? Not just your 401k, but are you taking the over and above your regular leftover money? Are you taking that money and are you investing it? So if you're not investing it, how are you going to tell me what to do with my money? How? You need to think about those things. And then you also need to think to yourself, is where I'm going, are you sure that that's what you're supposed to be doing? And when the people were speaking over me, and they weren't trying to be malicious or anything like that. I understand that. They're looking out for me. But at the same time, you need to think to yourself, is this something I'm supposed to be doing? And if the answer is yes, you got to stand firm on that. You have to think to yourself also, like, how many other trendsetters, how many people that were going against the grain of what was normal. You have a 30-year mortgage, you have a 15-year mortgage. Oh, you pay it off in 15, you pay it off in 30, like everybody else. But if you have on your heart that this is what you're supposed to be doing to increase your wealth journey and your investing power, because at the end of the day, you can 100% not invest, or you can't invest money that you don't have. And that's a fact. If you don't have money to invest, you can't invest it. So now I didn't mention, in the next few months, our mortgage is going to be paid, done. And we're currently in the process of paying it down. We have some money stashed away that we're going to dump on there, and it's going to be done. Now, one thing that we're not taking into account, which I talk about all the time on this podcast as well, is we always think that we're going to be doing what we're doing forever. The reason that we're getting money now is to be able to put money away, so when we're older, we can relax, we can enjoy life. But if you feel like I'm going to be doing this forever, you're lying to yourself, because there's going to come a point in time where you're tired. You don't feel like the daily grind of getting up for work and hustling and bustling and doing all these things. So you need to take that into account. And the faster you decrease your expenses, the faster you can get to investing more money. So being in the environment where I was at Seeds of Greatness Bible Church, ever since I've been going there, it has enriched my life so much, for me financially, for me spiritually. And I don't always get things right. Again, I said it before. Um, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So anybody who knows me knows that. And but at the same time, I'm way better off. I'm way better off as a person than I was 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, because I'm a work in progress. But if you're in an environment that is not conducive of where you're trying to go, you got to step off. And the faster you do it, the easier it's going to be for you to build that muscle of being that trendsetter, of being the one, being that legacy builder, being that person who executes on their plans, whether you're with other people or not. And one other thing that I'll tell you is, in that lonely period, God's going to add the right friends to you for you to go along this journey. But um, even if he does add those friends to you, they're not always going to agree with everything that you do. So the longer you stand alone, and please don't miss this, the longer you're able to stand alone on the things that you know are the right things to do, that you're supposed to be doing, the harder it's going to be for them to sway you to do what everybody else is doing. Because it's crazy to try to pay your house off and you're under 45. That's crazy. Um, um, and just invest a certain way. Things that people, other people are not doing. You have to be okay with that, because there are going to be people who love you, who are going to try to sway you, and they may not be doing it intentionally. They may not be trying to do it to hurt you. But if you get knocked off of that square, or off that road, that path that you're supposed to be on, and you know you're supposed to be on it, but you allowed somebody else to sway you, it's going to take years. Possibly you may not ever get back on track. So you have to be okay with standing alone in your conviction of what you're supposed to do. I don't know the countless conversations I've had about the way I do things, the way I invest, the way my wife and I, we pay down our mortgage. You don't know the conversations that I've had with family, with friends about, yo, you're doing what? You could take that money and do something else with it. You could do this. No. Because again, what I didn't say, I was going to say it earlier, is that you think you're going to be doing something forever, but you don't take into account that anything can happen too. You could lose your job. You can lose your ability to create income. And if you have a paid for house, it's easier. Or if you have no debts, it's easier to get along. It's less stress on you and your family if those things are taken care of, and they're pretty much done. So I love and appreciate my pastors, Jerome and Lisa Lewis, and the staff and the board members that are there, Rick Edwards specifically, and his wife Charlotte, Milton Reeves, and his wife Miss Reeves, because of their testimonies of what they did, what they were able to do, being debt free and paying things off, and just being the people I needed to talk to, so I can understand how they did what they did, and then I can formulate my own plan on how to do it. Teaching different things. So that was very helpful for me. And I'm sure there are other people out there that would love to be debt free, but they may not know how to go about it. You obviously have me that can show you exactly what we did, and I put commercials on the podcast all the time about that, because people just don't know how to do the thing that they want to do. And if you're not in that environment of somebody who knows how to do it, you have people closer to you than you probably think or know, but you have to ask. If you want help, you got to ask. So hopefully that helps somebody today. It was on my heart. Shout out to C's Greatness. Shout out to Jerome and Lisa Lewis for the vision, for enriching our lives, our congregation. And I just thought that was super dope that everybody was so excited about it. But after the excitement wears off, after the belief, we got to plan for a thing, and we got to execute, and we got to stay on it, because paying your house off is a long road, but it's doable. And my wife and I, we will be living proof that it can be done way before the time. But you have to believe, you have to plan, you have to execute. So hopefully this helps somebody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. Hey, family. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the episode today. We went into a lot of different things about environment, and environment is huge again. And speaking of that, today's entrepreneur highlight is actually from Seeds of Greatness Bible Church. He is my exterminator. His name is Kevin. He takes care of any type of insect that you can think of. He comes by my house, rental properties that I have. He goes out there. He takes care of some of my family members, and I am recommending Kevin, if you live in the tri-state area and you are looking for a reasonable exterminator who is going to treat you right, not take advantage of you, and take care of you with excellent customer service. So I will put Kevin's information below, and make sure that you tap in with Kev if you have any extermination needs in the tri-state area. So tap in with Kev. I will put his information below. Thank you so much.